Is everyone ready to go? Are we sure?
Okay.
Stand by, please. Going live in three, two, one.
Start the clock.
Q and L.
Live from the Health Sciences District, we welcome you to our studios at University Health, Kansas City's Essential Hospital. Now here's Keith King.
We begin this week following an exciting weekend of soccer. Kansas City bids farewell to World Cup soccer after Argentina faced off against Switzerland at Kansas City Stadium. Good morning, everyone. I'm Keith King with University Health, and welcome to Healthy Goals, our live YouTube show where we talk about World Cup soccer, the wins, the losses, the bumps, and the bruises after each matchup. Joining me live in studio this morning is Dr. Mark Steele, University Health Executive Chief Clinical Officer. He is the top doctor here at University Health. He also played soccer in college and continues to be a big soccer fan. Coming up, we will break down this weekend's latest and final match in Kansas City, Argentina versus Switzerland. Dr. Steele will weigh in, and we are just under a week away from World Cup final match. I will ask him if he is going to make any predictions on that one. How did Kansas City do hosting this huge international event? We'll ask Steve Hager, University Health Emergency Management and Compliance Director and Regional Director, Regional Emergency Coordinator. We'll ask him for his key takeaways. Also in this half hour, we will introduce you to a University Health specialist who has important ties to Team England. And when they are not making life better for University Health patients, they keep a close eye on this year's matches. Meet members of the University Health family with special ties to their favorite World Cup teams. If you're a member of the media, we want to hear from you this morning. You can email us your questions at publicrelations@uhkc.org. Again, the email address, publicrelations@uhkc.org. Okay, let's bring in Dr. Steele this morning. It's a big morning here, but with everything wrapped up here in Kansas City, are you feeling a little bit let down?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Obviously, I've really enjoyed the World Cup coming to Kansas City and getting to go to a couple of the games and to the Fan Fest. And so that's been a lot of fun. So obviously, we'll miss that, but we still have a week of World Cup to go. So excited about those matches and seeing the outcomes of those.
You mentioned going to a couple of matches. You were there at Kansas City Stadium, Arrowhead Saturday night. Tell us what that was like.
I was, and it was incredibly electric. I got to tell you, the Argentinian fans are unbelievable. Probably 95% of the crowd were rooting for Argentina. And from the moment I got there to the moment we left, long after the game had ended, the Argentinian fans were there in force and singing and dancing, and it was pretty extraordinary. Standing the entire time during the game, I mean, never really sat down. So
Yeah.
they clearly are into their team and very passionate about their team.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Sounds absolutely amazing. Okay, so this match went into extra time. Final score 3-1. One announcer at the end said it was pandemonium in Kansas City. What was your takeaway, or what are your thoughts about how this ended up, this match?
Yeah, well, I think that obviously it was a pretty close match. Argentina took the lead, 1-0, but then the Swiss tied it up. And quite honestly, at that point in the game, I thought the Swiss had a better control of the game than the Argentinians. But unfortunately, then they had the player who got a second yellow card and got ejected, and that obviously changed the entire complexion of the game. The Swiss had to be a little bit more defensive minded, and obviously went well into extra time. And I think we're trying to get to the point that they might get penalty kicks, and
Mhm.
quite frankly, if you get to that point, anybody can win that game. And so, but obviously, Argentina scored a goal to go ahead, and that was an incredible shot, incredible goal. So obviously, that sent the crowd into a frenzy when that happened.
Right, right. So Lionel Messi did not, especially compared to the first match here in Kansas City, did not have, I guess, the best game. He was, though very influential. I read that his vision, passing, and ability to draw defenders created opportunities for Argentina's attack. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, I think people, I mean, he didn't score a goal, but
Mhm.
he had an assist, and he is ever present, and so the opposing team has to constantly pay attention to where he's at and what he's doing. but sometimes he draws so much attention that it frees up space for other players to actually do something like what happened in this game where Martinez scored the go-ahead goal. And so and there were times where he would, but the Swiss are a good team. Especially defensively, and kept a close eye on him. And so, he might get past one player, but there was a second or third Swiss player who were right there to help try to prevent him from scoring a goal.
Yeah, the Swiss definitely proved that they deserve to be where they are
Yeah,
right now.
absolutely. They played well, and unfortunately, when they went down a man, that made it tough for them.
Yeah. Any thoughts on how a player like Messi continues to maintain his competitive edge at this point in his career? Again, he's 39 years old.
Yeah, I mean, well, honestly, I don't think anybody really know. I mean, he's obviously the greatest of all time, and the
Mhm.
fact that he's playing in this sixth World Cup is pretty incredible, and that he's maintained this level of ability, now that he's 39 years old is pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Let's look ahead at what's coming up this week. All right, we now know the final four teams. France versus Spain, they play tomorrow in Dallas, and then England versus Argentina will play Wednesday in Atlanta. Any thoughts on these four teams?
Well, obviously, these four teams are all outstanding teams, and in fact, I think this is the first time in modern history where they've actually kept track of world ranking of the teams. So these were the top four ranked teams in the world going into the World Cup, and here they are in the semifinals. So it's probably not a major surprise, although they all got a little bit of a run for their money in some of these games leading up to these semifinals.
Right. So we here at University Health have been keeping a close watch, obviously, on the weather. The heat has been a big story. University Health and other healthcare systems have been planning for this for months. We're close to FanFest, and you've been tracking the numbers of people who have been presenting or coming here to University Health. Do you have those final numbers or those latest numbers?
Yeah, I mean, for these last couple of weeks where it did heat up, I mean, we've probably seen anywhere from about a dozen to 15 individuals who've come in with heat exhaustion. We've not had any patients come in with heat stroke, which is obviously the much more serious heat-related illness. And so, yeah, so fortunately, I think people have heeded some of the advice to obviously try to stay as cool as possible, hydrate and all those things. And I think that the Fan Fest and all the different events have really enabled people to do that and made water readily available.
Yeah. And at the beginning, milder temperatures. I guess we should probably remind people don't let the foot off the pedal as we continue to go into the summertime. When you're working outdoors or you're enjoying outdoor activities, make sure that you hydrate, stay hydrated. Is that,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
absolutely. Yeah, and even this weekend, it cooled off a tad. Yesterday, actually, was last evening was
mhm.
really nice, but the humidity was down and the temperature wasn't as high. A little bit of a breeze. So, but obviously that fluctuates as we go forward. So, but it's really when we get those high heat indices that you have to really be very careful.
So you mentioned yesterday, and I've already introduced you as a big fan of soccer. Tell us a little bit about what happened to you yesterday.
Yeah, so I had a good friend who came in from out of town to attend the game Saturday night, and we played soccer together for a very long time. And there's a group of folks who get together on Sunday mornings to just have kind of a pickup soccer game. And he wanted to go there because we would see some friends that we hadn't seen for a while. And so we both went to watch, and I think he couldn't play because he had a recent surgery, and I didn't plan to play because I didn't want to get myself hurt, and I hadn't played in a while, and so forth. And they had quite a big group of people already there, so we were just observing, watching the game, and talking to a friend who was playing in the goal, and sort of minding my own business. But somebody crossed the ball pretty firmly across the face of the goal, and it was coming right toward me, and I thought I'd try to hit it back out to the field so that it wouldn't, travel 100 yards away so someone wouldn't have to chase it. But unfortunately, then the ball was really pretty overinflated, but hit my foot, which it basically twisted my ankle. So I ended up with a swollen, tender ankle. And so my intention of not getting hurt didn't work out so well. So,
Right. You
yeah.
you were there minding your own business,
Yes.
trying to
Yeah.
do everybody else
Yeah.
a favor by.
Just enjoying myself, just chat with people. But yeah.
So how are you feeling today?
I'm doing okay. I mean, it's a little tender and it's swollen, but I've had a number of ankle sprains over my life playing soccer. That was something that I had happened to me a number of times, and so it's not an uncommon injury. Playing soccer, but I wasn't technically playing in this instance, but still managed to do it.
But I guess for people watching, it is a good reminder that these types of injuries can happen when you least expect it.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, obviously, and obviously, I wasn't exactly playing, but it's a game that, and especially at this level, I mean, the pace is high, and there's a pretty significant amount of physicality, and so, yeah, there are things that can happen, and but foot and ankle things are clearly something that are not uncommon in terms of soccer injuries.
Well, we all appreciate you being here this morning and joining us. Final question for you in this segment is how do you think Kansas City did?
Yeah, I think they've done fabulously. I mean, I was impressed with the Fan Fest and everything that went on with that. I went to the first two U.S. games there. The games I got to attend, the attendance of the games has been fabulous, and just to see all the international visitors and their jersey colors and how they really show up for their teams, but are also, I mean, very, very, nice, and so you'll have fans from one team sitting right next to fans of other teams, and I saw them chatting and interacting and asking each other questions about either their teams or their respective countries. So it's a good feeling, I think, from my perspective, and the city should be proud.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. So, Dr. Steele, thank you. Stay there for just a moment. I've got a couple more questions here for you in just a moment because we want to talk about how soccer teams travel with a list of doctors and specialists. With a sport like soccer, a podiatrist is an important member of the medical team. One University Health podiatrist has been making house calls for Team England. Reporter Dave DeMarco from Fox 4 News recently chatted with University Health's Dr. Dylan Grau.
The English patient won an Oscar for Best Picture, but the story behind the man treating England's most high-profile patients right now, well, it's certainly something out of a Hollywood movie.
It was definitely a shock at first.
Dr. Dylan Grau, a University Health podiatrist, was interested in also working for a soccer team, so he started asking about a potential opening at Sporting. That's when England chose Kansas City for its base camp, and his name got passed along to their national football team.
You start to think of the extreme, importance of what's going on right now with the World Cup, and obviously them making the quarterfinal right now, so you have a lot on the line, so you're like, well, this is a pretty big deal.
Says walking into a job like this, you don't want to step on any toes. But when opponents step on England's toes, it's his job to make sure they're ready for the next match.
But they've been great. They've been very open and very nice and welcoming. I've never felt like I was lesser or anything than that with them. They've treated me as equals, and players and everybody, they've been phenomenal.
The team podiatrist might not be the first team physician job you think about, but in a sport the rest of the world calls football, the health of players' feet is extremely important.
When they're practicing, when they're out there competing several miles a day on these feet in super tight cleats so that they can perform, there's a lot of wear and tear. It's a lot of friction, there's a lot of impact.
Getting a toe on the ball can mean the difference between winning and losing. Dr. Grau says he's been impressed with just how in tune the players are with their feet.
You don't think about it. We clip our nails every day, but for them, they go a little bit too short, and now the toe hurts, and now they're thinking about that instead of what they need to be doing on the field.
And as long as England remains in the tournament, the University Health podiatrist will be on call.
Now I have my kids watching it all the time and cheering for England, and they a month ago had no idea England had a soccer team. So if Harry Kane or maybe Jude Bellingham end up winning that golden boot, you certainly could credit Dr. Grau with the assist. Dave DeMarco, Fox 4 News.
All right, let's bring in Dr. Steele one more time. I think initially when I heard about specialists like podiatrists being connected to these teams, I was a little bit surprised, but then it makes total sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, the players can have sports-related injuries or from playing the sport of soccer, but then, other things outside of the sport can also occur to the players. And so a lot of times there'll be medical specialists that are involved with the teams because they get sore throats or other ailments that any of us might get. but then having the specialists who deal with the sports injuries. And so obviously we have the non-surgical sports specialists, our family medicine, sports medicine folks, and then our orthopedic sports medicine. But then, yeah, it's specialty people like podiatry or any other specialty that they might require.
And Dr. Grau talked about how these players really have a good understanding of their feet, the injuries, and what needs to be done. Are you surprised by that?
No, no. I mean, obviously, this is their livelihood. I mean, that's you're using your feet most of the time, and what they do, dribbling and shooting and everything else. And so, and certainly, I can relate to that too. I mean, there are things, for instance, like I would get pretty significant bruises on like a big toe of one of my shooting feet, and so, and would have lost some toenails from that, and so it impacts the ability for you to play, and it's sore, or turf toe like things, those kind of things
Right.
that podiatrists would be come in handy to help
Sure.
treat.
Yeah. Painful injuries. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Dr. Steele, thank you very much. Coming up next, we are wrapping up months, even years of planning for World Cup. What lessons have we learned? Our Leslie Cardo is with the man who has some answers. Leslie?
Hey, Keith, live in the emergency department. Yes, it's over. But lessons have been learned that hopefully will keep the Metro safe for years to come. We'll tell you about it coming up.
For early appointments and late night care, for the moment you find out it's a girl, to the first time you hold her hand. With advanced maternity care, on-site level 3 NICU, and access to level 4 NICU, University Health is the one
You
for
guys.
At University Health, we're teaching Kansas City what it means to care.
I'm gonna-
Through the power of academic medicine, teaching can bring more minds to our patients. It solves some of the most complex medical cases in the city. And it provides hope to those who need it most. How can we care for all of Kansas City? Teaching can. University Health.
I think we are all breathing a bit of a sigh of relief today. University Health, along with other Kansas City healthcare systems, emergency responders, and law enforcement agencies, have spent months, even years, preparing for World Cup games. And all that planning paid off. Leslie Cardo joins us live this morning with Steve Hager, University Health's Director of Emergency Management and Compliance. Good morning, Leslie.
Good morning. Here's the ironic part. Steve has been working for years, right? The whole thing's over and we ask him to get up early to come talk about it. But Steve, appreciate it. Your title here is Director of Emergency Services
Emergency Management.
and for the region.
I am the chair of the Mid-America Regional Council Healthcare Coalition.
Were we prepared? We being the region, and first the region. Were we prepared?
Absolutely. Being the smallest city that was a host city out of the 11 in the United States, 16 across North America, we knew we had to be as ready or more ready than anyone else. And we were. We've been planning for 2 years. We were talking to counterparts that were starting in February and March of this year. And while they do big events, this is still way different than anything they've seen, also being 30 days long and long days. So we were ready.
At University Health, we talked a lot about all the different, how close we were to FanFest and how we were prepared for all the different ailments. We didn't see a lot of people, but the preparedness was there.
Right. We didn't know what was going to come in the door. The fans were better behaved than we expected. The heat was more cooperative than we expected, but we had to prepare for the worst. We did. And, we said all along, if we do our job, no one's going to know we did it because they're not going to see it. And that's what happened.
I was thinking about that this morning. I thought I didn't have to interview Steve about anything bad, and that is an amazing feat, right?
Absolutely. That's what we hoped for, and it couldn't have gone any better than what it did.
Last question real quick, Steve. This hopefully, this exercise, if you will, has improved care for the region. Do you think that's accurate?
One of the things that we've talked about all along, and Dr. Steele touched on it, but it has been the heat. So while we prepared for a large number of overheated individuals, and that didn't happen, fortunately, it also helped us step up our game, and we are leading the way in addressing those overheated, severely hyperthermic patients, and that will lead to better care every day.
I love that. We talked about really emergency preparedness. I mean, it was always, but the World Series parade, right? We've come a long way since then.
Yeah, that was huge. That was 2015, so 11 years ago. And things that we learned out of that, access to hospitals, and people were pulling off the side of the road and walking to the events, which made access problems. So all of that was taken into consideration with 2 large level 1 trauma centers, us and Children's Mercy across the street. We had to make sure people could get care that are the most vulnerable and get them high quality care.
Thanks, Steve. So, as I said, happy not to have to talk to Steve about anything awful. Very relieved. Steve, thank you for everything. Great job. And back to you, Keith.
Yeah, absolutely. Leslie and Steve, thank you both. Well, they help improve the lives of University Health patients. They are also soccer super fans. Meet some awesome University Health staff members with special ties to soccer powerhouses. And as we go to break, a message from Jackson County Public Health and their Red Card campaign, reminding all of us to make healthy choices this summer season.
Showing up sick, that's a red card.
Visit jcph.org/soccer.
For early appointments and late night care, for the moment you find out it's a girl to the first time you hold her hand. With advanced maternity care, on-site level 3 NICU, and access to level 4 NICU, University Health is the one for you. At University Health, we're teaching Kansas City what it means to care. Through the power of academic medicine, teaching can bring more minds to our patients. It solves some of the most complex medical cases in the city. And it provides hope to those who need it most. How can we care for all of Kansas City? Teaching can. University Health.
Each member of the University Health team helps in some way to improve the health and lives of every patient. And Leslie Cardo shows us why some of our staff members were very excited for this year's World Cup games.
Anywhere outside the United States, it's football.
Fußball. There's no soccer.
It's the only game. It's the most popular, most famous game.
More than a game, soccer, or football as it's known around the globe, provides a connection to the fans and the places they love.
If you guys think tailgating here is that much, back home, it's everything.
Yeah.
The fans will line up. Stadiums are packed.
Clinic manager David Gahara grew up in Kenya and had dreams of going pro. As a child, he practiced until the street lights came on with a homemade ball.
People that were very good at art and weaving, and they knew what exactly to make it look like a soccer ball.
This one is my club team when I was a teenager.
Creative Services Director Eddie Villegas also grew up loving soccer. He played the sport in college.
Still held up after 20 plus years. So,
wow.
Yeah, and it still fits.
Okay.
Raised in Kansas City, Eddie spent summers visiting his cousins in Mexico. Soccer was always at the center of family fun.
Those are some of my fondest memories, was growing up and just playing. And you would think it's the World Cup final between 2 neighborhoods playing against each other.
Women's health clinic manager Maria Lupita Garcia's memories of watching the World Cup growing up in Mexico include the entire family.
I remember having those reunions with my grandmas, and it was uncles, cousins, and it was like a huge party.
Kim Bauer of University Health Patient Experience learned early on the importance of good manners. After all, her mother is British.
Manners. My mom was huge on manners.
And when it came to the rough and tumble sport of soccer, Kim got an appreciation of the sport from her aunt, who worked at a sporting goods store owned by famous footballer Harry Parks.
And she said, yeah, I'll send you some goalie gloves. So she did, and they were fantastic. They were padded and just awesome. And I did quite well using my goalie gloves from England.
Dr. Suzanne Lutke spent much of her life in Germany, where soccer is as popular as bratwurst and beer gardens.
My dad was a huge soccer fan or football fan, and my brothers, we were watching every weekend. A game was running every weekend.
20 years ago, Dr. Lutke experienced in person the joy of the World Cup.
And I still remember it was packed. I was there with my older brother, and we had such a great time. It was just the whole vibe was like amazing. Just like how people get together and how everybody's just happy and fun, and it was amazing.
Dr. Danilo Martins' home country, Brazil, holds World Cup bragging rights.
We've been to every single World Cup so far. We won a few.
5 World Cup wins, one more than Germany, but Brazil's real rival is closer to home.
Brazil and Argentina play often because they're both South American countries, they're neighbors. We love to pick on each other.
And finally, the university health physician who might be the most excited to see the World Cup games in Kansas City, gastrointestinal specialist Dr. Malik Mahmoudi. He's from Algeria.
It's unbelievable. You move to the U.S. in the middle of the country. All of a sudden, we're organizing the World Cup. And guess who's playing? My own team, my home team. Twice, 2 games.
Algeria plays twice in Kansas City, and the team's base camp is in Lawrence. To Dr. Mahmoudi, this summer is almost as thrilling as the time when Algeria upset West Germany in 1982.
9 years old. I remember exactly that day. We were coming from the beach, and we got home, and it was like 5 minutes into the game. And Algeria made this huge win, and the whole country celebrated. So it's gonna be fun, a lot of fun.
All right, let's bring in Dr. Mark Steele one more time, and also University Health's Creative Services Director, Eddie Villegas. Eddie, thank you for joining us here this morning. You are not only a soccer super fan, you had a birthday last week, and your family gave you a bit of a surprise. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, my birthday was this past Thursday, July 9th. And like I do every Thursday, I go out to volleyball and play volleyball with friends. And so my family came out to join me on that. And on the overhead announcement, they announced, "Happy birthday, Eddie." And then a few minutes later, they also said, "One more thing, you're going to the World Cup game Saturday night. Your brother-in-law's taking you." So everyone was cheering for that, and it was very exciting. I was very surprised and happy.
Yeah, we're showing a picture now of you and your brother-in-law in the stands at Arrowhead. Talk to me a little bit about that experience.
It was surreal because I've been to plenty of soccer matches, but obviously nothing at this level. It's a quarterfinal in my hometown. To watch Argentina as well, to see Messi play was incredible. I did get to see Messi when he played Sporting here at Arrowhead a year or so ago. So that was cool. That was kind of a preview into what that atmosphere was going to be like. And Saturday did not disappoint.
Yeah, yeah. Dr. Steele talked about the enthusiasm of Argentinian fans. What was your takeaway with that?
Yeah, like Dr. Steele said, it was just chanting from beginning to end. The energy level was high the entire time. That crowd was mostly Argentina fans, and you could tell they probably traveled to get there. So just hearing the chants and the languages and the different things going on was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, Dr. Steele, as we wrap up here, I do want to ask you, what is, I guess, the key takeaway or the lesson that University Health has learned planning and executing for a big event like World Cup?
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the takeaways for me is that UH is up to the challenge. I mean, we've been up to the challenge previously during COVID, all the different NFL events, the parades, and when the Royals won, and so this is just another example, I think, of the ability for us to be involved, engage with the community, with all the different stakeholders, and to plan for these kind of things. I mean, fortunately, we didn't have any kind of crises that occurred, but obviously we plan for that in case they do. So
All right. Final question for you both. And Dr. Steele, I'll start with you. Okay, so we have 4 teams left. Again, tomorrow, France versus Spain. They play in Dallas. England and Argentina go up against each other in Atlanta on Wednesday. Are you making any predictions?
I'm not personally. I predict that one of these teams is going to win, and any of them potentially could win. But if you force me to pick one team, I probably would pick France, just because they have some incredible players, and they've been fairly dominating. But anything can happen in these games,
Right.
and as we've seen that. Like somebody getting a red card or somebody getting hurt can change what happens in a game. So we'll just have to see how they play out.
All right. Eddie, how about you?
Right. I mean, we're down to the final 4. All 4 countries have won before, so really can go any direction. I don't know if I can correctly pick who will win it all, but I like to see England, just because it's been the longest drought for them since they won back in 1966. So kind of pulling for their fans to have a victory.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, by next Sunday, we will know. So how this all plays out. All right. Thank you both. We're gonna wrap things up here, and I'm going to hand you our confetti cannons. Now, we don't want to have any type of viral moments, so please be sure to point up ahead here. And as we wrap up, I want to again thank you both for being here this morning. This is our last episode of Healthy Goals. Thanks to all of our providers who appeared on our shows over the past 5 weeks. And I want to personally thank our amazing crew for working so hard to make each Healthy Goals episode a success. Big shout out goes to John Williams, Jason Samayoa, John Hyduk, Amy Mell, Leslie Cardo, John Woods, and Heather Frierson. And a special thank you to our boss, Nancy Lewis, who has been a big supporter of this project. Finally, we leave you this morning with highlights from our previous shows, and from all of us here at University Health. We hope your day is full of big saves, great goals, and plenty of cheers. Have a great week, and gentlemen, take us out. Almost.
This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, overall events that we've ever had here in Kansas City.
I'm very excited for the World Cup.
This is the soccer mecca for the country, which is why the World Cup is here.
Messy magic in Missouri. History was made last night at Arrowhead.
I think we just got to observe the greatest of all time, obviously do his magic. I mean, it was an extraordinary performance.
By the way that Argentina very, very patiently possessed the ball. And it was almost like a cobra waiting to strike,
And you look around, you see the waves, you hear the chants, like it echoes, like you really get a feel for like the World Cup experience. I want to hold on to it as much as I can.
Every 4 years, we get to see all the best teams on a world stage, and to have it here this year, it's so exciting.
People, breathe soccer, they live soccer.
Pretty excited and emotional from the standpoint that this city is embracing soccer.
Take us inside the mind of a World Cup team doctor.
One of the things that was interesting about this game is there were actually 2 players, one from each team, that were subbed off within the first 15 minutes due to injury.
It's a muscle that sees a great deal of force, as Dr. Gibson mentioned, with change of direction.
And as long as England remains in the tournament, University Health podiatrists will be on call.
You have a lot on the line, so you're like, well, this is a pretty big deal.
From the heart of Kansas City at FIFA Fan Fest.
When you're in the heat, walking the Fan Fest for hours, you'll start feeling weak, fatigued, dizzy, and that's a good moment for you to start going to a cool place.
As a level 1 trauma center, of course, we're always prepared.
University Health says it's going to be a busy summer in Kansas City. Doctors say they want to be
prepared for not only World Cup, but the summers to come.
We've been preparing for this now for almost 2 years, and we do it together within departments, within our hospital, and within our region, I think better than any place in the country.